Hey, hi everyone. My name is Tammy and I own Fitness Envy weight training studio here in Northport, Florida. And if you're watching this video, you are most likely one of my clients who is doing a challenge and you're trying to build more muscle and burn more fat. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to train to gain muscle. And in the process of gaining that muscle and the exercises that we're doing, the fat's automatically going to come off. So you got the best of both worlds in this type of training. And you definitely want to think about what you're going to eat each day and as well as for the week. So you've probably, if you haven't already, you've probably taken a meal prep class, so you know what types of proteins you should be cooking and including in your meal plan for the week, as well as what are your good carbs and what are your healthy fats, and how do we put those together for each meal to make sure that you're hitting the 25 to 35 grams of protein per each meal for that particular day. And some of those foods are going to include eggs, meat, beans, nuts. You could use protein powder, yogurt. Just make sure that you have protein with every meal. You want to have it at least 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after a workout because your body's just going to absorb that. And the other thing that you really want to pay close attention to is I always tell everyone to hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. So not only are you going to have your protein with every meal, you're going to have a glass of water too. You need that in order to boost your metabolism, keep your cells hydrated to be able to metabolize and do the things that they need to do in order to burn that fat and to build that muscle and to get those hormones when they need to go to do the job they need to do. So you want to think about your training, and that's what's nice about this program is I've already got it worked out for you. It's there to make sure that you're not doing the same routine over and over again, and we're pushing your muscles more than just going in and working out at the gym and doing them 3 sets of 15 and then you do that the same week. You're not going to grow muscles like that. You always got to trick them. You always got to push it to the limit plus more, and you got to learn how to get past that pain factor, and that's something that happens up here. Your mind is always going to shut down before your muscles do. Your muscles can keep going, and training your mind to get through that is the most important thing, because if you can push yourself and I tell you to do 25 and then I tell you to do 30 and you give me 5 more after that and you've done 35, that's the type of training that you're going to see a major difference in muscle growth as well as your fat burn. You have to make sure that you eat according to this type of exercise though, because if not, you're doing all this work and it's not really doing anything for you. So then we think about, okay, reps versus sets. Well, I've got that figured out for you too. You definitely want to change it up. Every couple weeks you want to change it. It could be high reps, it could be lower reps. We are not bodybuilding to compete, so we don't need to do the bicep curl at 120 pounds at 4 reps. No, we're going to do a little higher reps, and it's actually proven through studies that the higher reps you do, you necessarily don't need the heavy weight. You're still going to grow that muscle. A lot of the weight training videos that you see in the magazines, a lot of those people are on enhancement drugs, so they're either doing steroids or hormones or other types of things that really makes them grow. So they're gonna really take it to the limit. We're not at that stage yet, and I know that in my lifetime I don't ever want to look like a bodybuilder. I still want to have my feminine look. Want to look like a girl, but I want to look healthy, and I like to have that tone look. And when people look at you, they say, oh my gosh, she works out, look at the muscle tone she has on her body. So I'm going to stay away from all those enhancement drugs, and I'm going to train to build my muscle, and the thing that happens is you keep it. It's not something that you've blown up through something that's artificial, and as soon as you stop taking it, it goes away. This is something that you've built over the years. You're going to keep it for a lot longer, and what happens is every time you do a challenge, you're building more, building more, building more, and you're going to notice there's going to be a time when you cheat and you'll fall off the wagon for a couple days, and you're going to realize, oh my gosh, I cheated for 3 days and I didn't gain that fat back that I did like I used to before. So it has some benefits, but you have to be consistent and you have to train at least 5 to 6 days a week. And you gotta make sure that that intensity is always there. You gotta push it to the limit. You always gotta be sore, because that soreness is saying, okay, my muscle has torn down and now it's regrowing and it's building, it's building, it's building, and that's what we want. And you definitely want to consider eccentric versus concentric. And that is something that I throw into your workouts as well. And as we do those, I'll explain the difference between those. And that's just working with and without gravity. And some of you already know what those are. And when you're weight training, you can do a workout that just involves one muscle group, or you can split that up and do 2 separate muscle groups. If you do one muscle group, you're probably going to do that muscle group just 1 day a week while you hit all your other muscle groups. If you have split days and you're doing shoulders and you're doing back, or shoulders and legs, you're going to do that a couple times throughout the week. And I always like to include legs in most of our workouts, because women don't necessarily want bulky legs. So in order to keep their legs nice and muscular but thinner and trim, it's good to incorporate some kind of leg activity every single day. So that benefits men as well, because that's an extra stimulator for human growth hormone as well as testosterone. So that workout regimen that we do at our Fitness MV, there's rhyme or reason behind it. And that when they say it's always leg day, it is always leg day. We're going to take advantage of the natural hormones that we have to help us build. And it's going to burn more muscles, because your legs are your largest muscle group, so it takes a lot more energy to do that workout, that particular workout, and it's a benefit because you're burning more calories. And then rest between sets. It depends on what we're doing. If you've done something and you've done to failure, some of those reps are 30, 40, sometimes 100, depending on what we're doing, and you do need a couple minutes to bring it back down. But if we're doing 3 sets of 12, or a set of 10, a set of 8, a set of 6, I usually have you go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, because it's a short bout. It's those longer bouts that we need to take a little more time in between those sets. But we have a lot to get in that hour, and when you come in, I expect you to be on it. The other thing that's important in weight training is not only the nutrition part, the hydration part, but you want to make sure that you're getting enough sleep. You need to go into those patterns of sleep that's called REM, and we go into 5 cycles normally in an evening if you're a sleeper. If you have a hard time sleeping, I do have a product that's called Sleep by Baseo, and that really helps. And it's something that's not habit forming, it's all natural. And it usually takes about 10-15 minutes and you're asleep, and you usually sleep all night long. And that's the time that your body gets busy for repair and muscle growth and fat burn. And so there's a lot of things that happen during sleep, and that is certainly a very important time. So make sure that you're getting that. The other thing is, the people that are in my more extreme challenges, I only require that you participate 5 times a week, because you do need those days off. And then we have a cheat day. And that cheat day is, you can have your cake, but not the whole cake. You want to have a little bit of cake. You're really, busting your butt. You can ruin what you've done in a whole week, especially if you're trying to lose fat weight just by one day. So make sure that you can still have your little cheats, just make them small. Your body isn't going to know the difference of whether you've had the whole cake or just a slice of cake, and you're going to save yourself the calories. And remember that your body keeps track of everything. And everything meaning the amount of exercise, everything that you ate, everything that you drank, the amount of sleep, all of that your body keeps track of. And you'll be able to tell in class which ones are on it, doing what they're supposed to do, and which ones aren't. So that's very, very important. Now, as far as caffeine is a stimulant, and it really helps. So if you want to do like a caffeine pre-workout, you can do that. There is a protein smoothie that I have that you actually use coffee beans, and it's a smoothie. It's a protein smoothie, and it kind of gives you that burst of energy that you need. It actually is proven that you will get a better workout. Just be careful of some of the pre-workouts that raise your blood pressure, or they make you sweaty, or it dilates your veins. If you have high blood pressure, you want to stay away from these. You know, if you have that, you know, half a cup of coffee or, you know, that smoothie before, that's more beneficial for you, and there's not the risk of, you know, having a stroke or a heart attack while you're working out. So the other thing is you definitely want to plan for each meal, and you're going to make sure that you're going to get 25 to 30 grams of protein with each meal. So your meals are going to start with breakfast, then you're going to have a snack, you're going to have lunch, a snack, and dinner. And it's really important to get that amount. No matter whether you're a woman or man, you're going to try to get that into your regimen every single day in order to benefit from the types of workouts that we're doing. I can get you through the workout, that's my side of the deal, but you have to put in the work on the other side and make sure that you're eating for what you're training for. And again, that's going to be, your protein is going to be eggs, meat, beans, nuts, protein powder, yogurt, and you want to make sure that you have that one last protein meal of the day. And when I do that, I don't have anything but the protein. I do about 20 grams of protein and cut it out for the night, and that's good for me. So when you're working on your meal plan, you know, some of you don't like certain things. I'm not a fish person. There's some people that don't like seafood. There's some people that don't like chicken. There's some people that don't like steak. So when I put in your meal plan a protein, you can put in there what you want. You don't have to eat salmon if you don't like salmon. Put something in its place that you like. I don't know where that guy came from. And, you know, make sure that your meals are enjoyable. The thing about when you're eating clean, a lot of people believe that eating clean, it doesn't taste good. Well, guess what? It does. And then when you meal prep, you actually end up saving money because it's the best fast food you can have. And if you meal prep thinking about it, and you prepare meals that you're using a lot of the same ingredients, you're not going to waste anything. And then if you have leftovers at the end of the week, for instance, if you have leftover onions or peppers or beans or anything like that, I always throw it into a big pot and make a big pot of chili, and then I've already got one of my meals done for the week, and I can even put that into the freezer. And when you take that out of the freezer and reheat it, the flavor is unbelievable. So make sure that you have definitely got these meals down. That is the most important. As we plug through these challenges, they're going to get tougher and tougher, but that's what's going to change your body. The other thing is that's important for those of you that are trying to lose fat weight while you're building muscle is what type of training do we do with it? Do we do cardiovascular training or do we do HIIT training? There's a difference. So if you're going to go out and you're going to run, say you run for an hour and a half, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not effective if you're trying to build muscle because you're really tearing down that muscle. And what happens over time is your body stops using carbohydrates as energy, and you hit a certain point, usually at 30 minutes, it switches over and you start using protein as energy. And you're breaking down that muscle that you've already worked so hard to build. So what I do is, in our classes, we do HIIT training, plyometrics. And what that does is it spikes your heart rate, and you do it for a minute or so. You let your heart rate come back down, and what happens is you go into aerobic training, which is like running or, you know, and the elliptical, but then you come back down because you spiked your heart rate, come back down, and you go into anaerobic again, and that's more of your muscle building type of workout. So you've got the benefit, you got the best of both worlds. So when I know it's really difficult to be, you know, to do all that jumping and stuff, there's a lot that goes in with that type of training. You get your heart rate up, and you have it up so high and it starts coming back down, and you've gone back to lifting. Not only if you have your heart rate at a certain level, in between 95 and about 130, depending on you as a person, you're going to stay in fat burn during your whole workout. So you're actually burning your fat calories instead of your proteins and your carbs. So that's important when you are doing this type of workout, because we all want to lose fat weight, but we all want to build muscle. So we don't want to tear it down. and we don't want that skinny, frail look either. So definitely the HIIT training is the best, most efficient way to get the best of both worlds in this type of training. And not only are you going to build that muscle, what happens is in those types of exercises, the explosion exercises, you're stimulating growth hormone and testosterone, and you're going to have a longer, higher fat calorie burn for the next 24 to 48 hours, as if you just did an hour of weight training without anything and then an hour of cardio. So there's a lot of benefits that happens with that, and you see changes a lot quicker with those types of workouts than you do with the split day weight training and cardio. So a lot of benefits from this. There's some method behind my madness. I do have a master's degree. There's theory behind this. It's exercise physiology, so that's a science of exercise. So there's a lot of studies out there, and we've seen it over and over again with the people that you've seen in our classes. You can see how their body has changed. So these are important tips. Please take the time to, if you need to, watch this video again, share this video. But I'm looking forward to the remainder of this challenge, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them below.